guest today has one of the most honest and authentic voices in country music, and she has the hardware to back it up. She was named Best New Female Vocalist and Best New Artist for both the ACMs and the CMAs, and received 3 Grammy nominations stemming from her first major label album called Girl Going Nowhere. Her latest project called Never Will is also Grammy nominated and is the only country music album to receive Rolling Stone's in the top 20 best of list of last year. Please welcome Ashley McBryde. Hi, gal.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
That's kind of a lot to take in. I mean, when you hear your career at the very beginning of it and all the things that you've won already and you're just getting started, is that like a deep breath moment for you?
It is, especially when you say it all in a row like that. Like I said, it makes my eyes kind of big. Like, dang, we did that, and that was in the first year. And it's hard to absorb, but you have to make sure though that you absorb stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't just let it go by.
Because this is it.
This is it.
This
is
is
the
your
thing
career.
I always wanted to do, and I'm doing it.
Can we go back to Mammoth Springs, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Little bitty Ashley McBryde?
Yep.
So tell me about that plastic string guitar and what those festivals and your upbringing and your grooming in music, how did that all start?
I was always at a bluegrass festival. I mean, I guess mostly in the summertime, but my mom loves bluegrass music, and so I was just born into loving it. We're a country and bluegrass household. And I had a little bitty, it was like a Kermit the Frog Telecaster. And I played the silly thing all the time, but at bluegrass festivals, she would let me I had my own lawn chair. I was, a little wee kid, but I had my own lawn chair, and I could go sit it up front and go up there and just play the fire out of that little plastic Telecaster. Nobody told me not to, so I guess it was okay.
How old were you?
I mean, I was probably 4, and I started banging on a mandolin about then too. Of course, she wouldn't have let me do that in the front row at a bluegrass festival, but I used to do that around the house all the time. They've got videos of when I was little. We have one of those giant camcorders.
Uh-huh.
And Mom's got this, she's walking around the house, you can hear it clacking on stuff, and there's little tiny me, and I've got a mandolin on like a guitar, and I say, Daddy, can I have a pick? And that's just, I've been obsessed with picks actually my entire life. I'm always looking for more.
You probably have them in your pocket right now.
If I had pockets, I would.
I'm married to a guitar player, and I wash plenty of them from his laundry,
I gotta have them everywhere. I want them on the kitchen counter, they're on the record player, they're where the guitars are. I just like to have them around.
How did this bug bite you? I mean, where do you think it came from? Was your mom, like you said, liked bluegrass, but anybody else in your family musical?
Everybody can sing. I got one brother that can play guitar. I don't know that he does anymore.
Yeah.
But we can all sing, and grew up in the church. Of course, we were in the Church of Christ, so there weren't instruments in the church while we were singing.
Wow.
So we learned harmony really well. Whether you wanted to or not, you were going to learn your part. So I think that's where it's probably where the love of music and the love of harmonies bit me. Of course, bluegrass and country being very harmony-driven genres. But I would blame the whites. And I would blame Ricky Skaggs.
Oh, good people to blame, aren't they? Did you write songs at the wee age of 12? Did I read that correctly? What'd you write, and what'd your parents say when you played it?
Before that, I would just kind of sing the things I did. And I know that was obnoxious to my siblings, but my mom...
I'm baking cookies.
Yep, I was like, I walked to the mailbox and saw a bird, like that kind of thing. But I was 12, and I wrote a song called Fight the Flames, and of course, it's about this awful, awful heartbreak.
At 12,
At
you
12.
knew about this stuff?
I mean, you've barely had big bruises, much less big heartbreaks. And I went and sang it. We were at my grandparents' house. Went and sang it for my mom and my grandparents. And Mom said, you wrote that? Where'd you get it? I said, yeah, I wrote it. And she said, oh, man.
Did I read that she said you had like a 40-year-old soul at age 12?
Yeah, she said I was 14 going on 40. She used to say that.
Man, writing songs at 12. I was probably worthless, laying on the couch watching Gilligan's Island.
Well, they
at 12.
weren't great. I mean, they weren't good songs, but they had form and they rhymed, and they had structure. They had verses and choruses, and
you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, of course. I had really good things to emulate. I had bluegrass on my side. I had what we now call classic country on my side. My dad was a huge fan of Merle Haggard. He loved John Denver, Chris Christopherson. So talking about some cool songwriting, I've got that in my blood too. So it wasn't hard to start putting the pieces together.
I heard you loved Miss Loretta, and you had a few influences yourself. Who were those?
Wow, I do love Miss Loretta. Somebody who's just done so much. And it's just, I'll get choked up if I think too much about it. But golly, when you think about when I was like really picking my own music to start listening to.
Right.
I had Patti Loveless, Susie Boggess, Pam Tillis, Lori Morgan, Trisha Yearwood. I mean,
Not too shabby.
not too shabby. Not a bad place to set your sights. And then shortly after that, we'd have the Dixie Chicks walk into our lives. And anybody my age, or a little bit older maybe, or a little bit younger, they had an influence too. The Chicks were a big part of radio. So they got to be a big part of what would shape us and the music that we would make later.
Do stay with us. We're going to take a short pause, but we'll be right back with Circle Sessions.
Next week on Songs from the Cellar, Stephanie Quayle,
What you drink about? Boy, let's talk it out.
Ariel,
Don't wanna live in the digital. Take me back to the analog.
Parker McKay,
So I'm just being honest. Ooh.
Casey Tyndall.
Yeah, I roll with Jesus and rock with John Jett. Hey.
Yeah, Songs from the Cellar. It's gonna be great.
I'm Dennis Quaid. I'm taking over Circle Network. Don't you know? You don't want to miss it.
That's right, Dennis Quaid is taking over Circle. Dennis Quaid plays here. Tune in as Dennis Quaid gets an entire night dedicated to his performances as a singer-songwriter and appears on Circle Sessions, My Opry Debut, Opry, and Songs from the Cellar.
I used to watch the Opry when I was a kid. I used to imagine myself up there on stage, but I never imagined I actually would be. And so this is a really special night. To tell you the truth, I don't get nervous for many things, and this is what I really do have butterflies for. I could feel the warmth from the audience as soon as I got out there. You put it out, and you can feel it coming back at you in a wave, and it just goes in a circle. And that's what this is, right?
Join Dennis Quaid
Right here on Circle.
Welcome back to Circle Sessions. My guest today is Ashley McBryde. Miss Ashley, let's go to high school.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Let's go
Let's
to
go
that.
to braces and perms.
Girl, I still have my headgear.
Yes.
That's awful.
Yes.
Did you have braces?
I had braces. I had braces in middle school and a little bit in high school. It was terrible. Basically changed the inside of the shape of my skull, but we're fine now.
Let's go to that day that the teacher said what he said to you. Fill the blanks in. Tell the story.
Really small class, probably, I don't know, well, actually, I don't know what size class is a small class, probably 20, 25 kids. There were people that this teacher liked and people that this teacher did not like. And for some reason, if you were athletically driven, then you kind of got a little bit of leeway. And if you weren't, if you were a band nerd like I was, it was a little easier to pick on you. I don't know why some people get that way. And maybe she was just a bitter old bird and that's just the way she was. I always had a lot of trouble in math. I still have a lot of trouble in math, which is fine. I'm at home with that. But she was talking about the use of algebra and all that, you know, farther on than high school, farther on than college. But have you used algebra lately? I was gonna, it's on my list of things to ask you.
No, I haven't.
Isn't that the dangest thing?
I don't even know that I could spell the word these days.
So when it got to me, she said, you know, what are you gonna do when you grow up? I'd be like, well, I'm gonna be an engineer. All right, well, you're gonna have to be able to solve equations. Well, I would like to be a doctor. Well, okay, well, you're gonna have to use it for this. And I was asked, Ms. McBryde, what will you do for a living? And I said, I'm gonna move to Nashville and write songs and they'll be on the radio. Whether I sing them or somebody else does, doesn't matter to me. And she said that was stupid and it wouldn't happen, that I'd better have a really good backup plan. Isn't that wild? Most educators would never say something like that to a student. But I'm glad she said it now. At 37, I can thank her for saying that because that was the first no. And every time you get those no's early, your skin just gets a little bit thicker and a little bit thicker and a little bit thicker. And you learn how to chin up, chest out, and take those no's right on the chin. And I did not take it very gracefully. In fact, I ultimately got kicked out of that woman's class, but not that day, but I sure did. I deserved it too.
But that would hurt, you know?
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Yeah, and
for
that could
someone
really,
to
really damage a kid.
But it didn't. Your Opry debut When you told that story on the stage, about to sing Girl Going Nowhere, I bawled, the audience was bawling. Tie the thread to that story and Girl Going Nowhere, the song and the meaning.
I remember the day so clearly because it was the day Guy Clark passed away. Oh. And so I was heartbroken. One of my bucket list items was not just to write a song with him, but to smoke a cigarette with Guy Clark was one of my goals. So I'm all just a mess. I'm crying, and I walked into the publishing house where I was going to write that day, and I met a guy named Jeremy Bussey. It was the first time we'd met. And he said, go ahead and collect yourself. Go ahead and clean your face up and come back and let's talk a little while. So we started exchanging stories. He's from Alabama, I'm from Arkansas. He's that old, I'm this old, and we get to chit-chatting. And you know, he said, you know, what happened when you kind of told the people that you love in your life that you wanted to move to Nashville and make music? So we started trading those stories. And I said, we're basically telling people that we're going to move to a city we've never known anybody in and make stuff up and expect to be paid for it. I understand that that sounds insane, but it happens all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm good enough to do it. Mm-hmm. And he said, have you played the Opry? And I said, not yet. And he said, well, I like that answer. So what we should do is write what you'd like to say the first time you step into that circle. Ugh. And write it in such a way that if Guy Clark had to listen to it, he wouldn't mind. And so it was a good way to say, look at me now, to that teacher. It was honestly what I would want to say when I walked into the circle the first time, and I hope God didn't mind.
You can go back and look at that
mm-hmm.
on YouTube or anywhere that you can see it. It was just inspiring because you told the story of your algebra teacher and then you set right into that song. And as you were standing up there singing that, do you remember that night? Do you remember your reactions, your phrasing, your words?
I do. I remember almost everything about that day really clearly. I remember feeling cold and hot and cold and hot and cold and hot. And when everybody stood up, I mean, it's real sweet when people stands up, but this row stood up. And that row stood up, and then people just kept standing up, and I kind of looked over to the side to get my guidance here because I don't know what the protocols are for a standing ovation at the Grand Ole Opry. And they just looked at me and said, it's okay to stand there. It's okay to stand there. And I did. And it's to this day, one of the most important things that's ever happened to me.
I want to talk about the obstacles that you've overcome. Well, you just talked about one of them. Mm-hmm. How do you overcome these things that have come your way and make it to where you are today?
You have to have kind of a hold my beer attitude. And so you do get a lot of negativity. You get a lot of positivity too. There are champions that you run into along the way that really, really help. But bet you won't and bet you I will can be a pretty powerful thing. It's not just, you know, something we said to each other when we were kids. Bet you won't eat that bug. I'll eat a bug. I'll eat 2 bugs. I'll eat 10 bugs. Whatever freaks you out the most. It makes you the most upset, that's what I'll do. And I say that in Christian love. I've now gone from eating bugs because it makes people upset to doing things because, and not only for the people that did it before me, but for the next little guy or little girl after me.
We're gonna take a quick break, but we have a whole lot more with Ashley McBryde. Stay with us.
I'm Dennis Quaid. I'm taking over Circle Network. Don't you know? You don't want to miss it.
That's right, Dennis Quaid is taking over Circle. Dennis Quaid plays here. Tune in as Dennis Quaid gets an entire night dedicated to his performances as a singer-songwriter and appears on Circle Sessions, My Opry Debut, Opry, and Songs from the Cellar. Join Dennis Quaid
right here on Circle.
I'm ready. Let's do this. I'm Natalie Stovall, and this is the Southern Weekend. I do not understand what I'm doing.
I would really like to try the chicken and waffles.
Oh, you guys are cute. It takes a lot of hard work to get to this point.
Yeah.
It takes one person that believes to help you.
Got it.
Yeah!
Let's go, baby! Welcome to Circle's Country Countdown, where we make the lists, our panelists fill in the blanks, and you fire social media messages at us to let us know what you think.
So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Then you're gonna love this. power couples check. Hairdos, yes please.
He's got better hair than I do.
Outlaws, 10-4.
He's dangerous.
Get ready for the rowdiest show in primetime.
Wish Opry was every night? We do too. So Circle is giving you an Opry show every weekday at 4 p.m. Central. Step into the circle with us and your favorite artists. Watch Opry every day right here on the Circle.
Coming up on this season of Authentic America, we meet some four-legged friends.
Down on the farm and in the wild.
Of course, we found some great food.
Some libations to wash it down with.
And we can't forget dessert.
And if you're into speed, we found it on the ground, in the air, and on the water.
And we see it all on 2 wheels on Authentic America.
Welcome back, everyone, to Circle Sessions, hanging out with Ashley McBryde. Girl Going Nowhere. You received 3 Grammy nominations stemming from that album alone.
Yeah.
That you had all those accolades in the first year of your career. Do you look back on that and go, I knew I was going to do that?
I mean, I've always wanted to do something like that. I mean, and Grammy is it's the biggest thing that can ever happen to anybody in the music business. Mm-hmm. I didn't know we were going to get 3. And it's a lot to hope for on your first record to get a Grammy nomination.
Absolutely.
So, shoot for the moon and be with the stars. Mm-hmm. But it's still mind-blowing to this day. When we got that 3rd Grammy, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. This record is the little record that could. It won't sit down, which makes me feel good. That means I put enough of my spirit in it, enough of me in it that it won't sit down.
Well, let's go to the spirit of this new album called Never Will. Grammy nominated, Jay Joyce produced.
Yep.
I love this quote about how producer Jay ran through the songs with you and the band just 2 or 3 times, and he would not let you sit there and nitpick it, listen back, listen back, listen back. You said, we would have sought perfection instead of honesty, and that is the wrong thing to do.
It's the wrong thing to do. What's that thing that they say? Perfection is fear in shiny shoes? It's something like that. Somebody said it. I didn't make that up. Yeah, and it started out with Jay just going, that was pretty good. You guys want to move on to the next song real quick? And the next day we did the same thing, and the next day and the next day, and before we knew it, we were getting ready to cut one more song, and that happened to be Styrofoam, because he had said, I wish we had one more really fun song that we could have people sing along to. I said, oh, let's do Styrofoam. And he said, hey, do y'all want to hear your record real quick? And so there's a photo, if you've got the vinyl or the physical CD, of me and all the guys. And Jay's head is in the foreground, but it's hard to see because he wears all black all the time. And everybody's kind of looking their own way, and you can tell they got kind of got their arms crossed and head down. And I think I'm looking out a window. But this is the moment that Jay Joyce presses play after we've got one song left to cut. This is what your record sounded like. And we're listening. Of course, it's not fully mixed or anything, but we're listening, and our eyes are getting big. We're looking at each other. And he said, this is what it sounds like when you don't overthink. Well, that was easy. Like, he just comes up with stuff like that, and we would have sought perfection, but our brains don't work that way anymore. And I love it when people tell me that Never Will sounds live, because there are mistakes in that record, and I don't mind when people pick them out and message me about them. Was that a mistake in Velvet Red? Yes, it was. Was that a mistake in First Thing I Reached For? Absolutely.
That's what music is about.
Yeah.
It's heartfelt.
And sometimes a little bit flat tugs at your gut a little more than the perfect note would have. And sometimes hitting it a little sharp and pulling it down, man, you were in a moment there. And we cut everything all together. I don't go back and do the vocals separate. We cut it all together.
When you use the word honest, and what I said about you in the intro is how I feel about you. It's like you have one of the most honest and authentic voices in country music. That's the word that I use to describe you. What's the word you use to describe you?
Ornery.
Ornery.
Just off the top of my head, I was thinking short would be the way to go, but everybody knows that. Ornery. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just I just kind of am.
You want what you want.
I just kind of am that way.
There's nothing wrong with that. I wanted to talk a little bit about a song on the album Never Will that I told you just stopped me in my tracks. It's called Stone. You wrote it with your co-writer, Nicolette Hayford, who also lost a brother.
Yep.
About your brother's death just a few short years ago.
Man.
How did writing that song uncover emotions that you were saying that you didn't know that you had at the time?
Yeah, I was still stuck being angry. And I was like, this isn't fair, and I want to write a song about what a big mess this is. And Nicolette said, you know I'm not going to let you write an angry song about that. And even though I would advocate for people to not smoke, the fact of the matter is we went outside and had a few cigarettes. Nicolette's real good at making me laugh, and we're just kind of trading stories back and forth. And I laughed, kind of this, kind of Gomer Pyle kind of laugh. And that made me cry because I sounded like Clay.
Your brother.
There's the song. Woo, I tear up now thinking about it. She was like, get your guitar, you big idiot. Like, and I'm like, and this, and I walk like him, and I laugh like him. And she was just like, let's write it down. And what really will kill you is it's her idea to use the mechanic of the things that your brother teaches you about stones, the rolling ones, the throwing ones. And we get done, and I said, man, I really want to make sure that everybody knows that this song is about Clay and about your brother, but I don't know David's last name. And she said it was Stone. She outsmarted me. And who cries? Who cries on Circle TV?
We do.
I'll go first.
My gosh.
Yeah, and that song's not on the record to hurt anybody. It's on there to help, for sure.
We have a whole lot more with Ashley McBryde. Stay with us on Circle Sessions.
Hey everybody, Bobby Bones here, host of Opry Live. Circle Network is excited to start texting with you. We'll send some fun, personalized messages just for you. And sometimes, someone special may be sending them. Maybe some of my friends, maybe even me.
I'm Dennis Quaid. I'm taking over Circle Network. Don't you know? You don't want to miss it.
That's right, Dennis Quaid is taking over Circle. Dennis Quaid plays here. Tune in as Dennis Quaid gets an entire night dedicated to his performances as a singer-songwriter and appears on Circle Sessions, My Opry Debut, Opry, and Songs from the Cellar. Join Dennis Quaid
right here on Circle.
Let's go, baby! Welcome to Circle's Country Countdown, where we make the lists, our panelists fill in the blanks, and you fire social media messages at us to let us know what you think.
So far, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Then you're gonna love this. Power couples check. Hairdos, yes please.
He's got better hair than I do.
Outlaws, 10-4.
He's dangerous.
Get ready for the rowdiest show in primetime.
Coming up on the Southern Weekend. You feel the spirits in here. Are there any ghost stories?
You were talking to the biggest skeptic in the building.
We wrote every little thing, and in a night, my entire world changed.
It's so fun when we get to talk to people that grew up in Memphis and remember this car being driven around.
What's your favorite thing about touring?
Honestly, like just living the dream that I had my whole life.
Next week on Songs from the Cellar, Stephanie Quayle.
What you drink about? Boy, let's talk it out.
Ariel.
Don't wanna live in the digital. Take me back to the analog.
Parker McKay.
So I'm just being honest. Ooh.
Casey Tyndall.
Yeah, I roll with Jesus and rock with John Jett. Hey.
Yeah. Songs from the Cellar. It's gonna be great.
Welcome back to Circle Sessions. I'm Nan Kelly, and this is Ashley McBryde. Girl, you sing rock and roll. I mean, so rock and roll tracks, but your country vocal.
Yeah, I could sing Motown and make it sound country, which I'm thankful for. It has been a hindrance, I guess, at times, but man, I'm so thankful for that.
So Never Real, the title track is this rock sound.
Yep.
I mean, did you ever sing when you were singing in dive bars and in Memphis and in micro bars and all those places that you sang for all those years? Were you singing cover songs like Motown and rock and roll?
Oh, absolutely. Anything from Lady Gaga, Janis Joplin.
Really?
I would do Pam Tillis. I would do the Carpenters. I would do, they called me Lady Jukebox in several bars. I enjoy it so much. I did Michael Jackson. I covered Dirty Diana. It's one of my favorite songs to sing, Dirty Diana. Absolutely. I'm not very good at the hee-hees. And just last year, right before the Grammys, we did that, the Music Cares benefit, and we honored Aerosmith, and I got to do Dude Looks Like a Lady, and I was like, man, this is gonna be fun. And it is. Yeah, singing rock is great. It comes from your guts.
Did you take all those learning tools and find your sound, or was your sound just always in there and you just made it work for those
Growing
songs?
up, loving Alison Krauss and Union Station, loving the Cox family, Suzanne Cox's voice, and how wonderful they are. And I would try to sing those songs and like a Leanne Womack kind of way, but not everybody can sing that way. So here I am in this world, and I love all this music. I'm completely obsessed with it my whole life, but something in me is a little different. And I didn't really know what it was. I just thought I wasn't a very good bluegrass singer. And I would eventually move to Memphis, Tennessee after I'd been playing in the bars for so long. And I really got into listening to the blues there. And I don't mean on the radio. I mean going down and watching the old guys play.
Beale Street.
And a lot of great rock bands in Memphis too. And I figured it out. I was like, oh, I'm rock and roll. That's cool.
You have this steadfast confidence that a lot of people don't have. You have this, I've got this. You know, even to see you hosting the big award show that you hosted recently.
That was fun.
Not many people can do that. You know, trust me, being in television as long as I have, you've got to have the chops for that, and you just nailed that. Where does this grit, this self-confidence, this determination that you exude, where does that come from?
I'm glad it comes off as confidence. Grit, I would agree with. Determination, I would for sure agree with. The I've got this comes from, I've got to have it because ain't nobody got me but me. But I got me. When they asked if I would host an award show, I was like, do you have any idea how bad I want to host an award show?
Really?
I'm like, the thing about hosting an award show is they won't let you just change anything on the teleprompter. I tried.
Oh, I know.
Because I was co-hosting, of course, with Kane Brown and Sarah Hyland, and I was like, we three together would probably be pretty funny, but I didn't get to change many things. Let me change some stuff, but that kind of thing, and I've said it before, you know, Carol Burnett's one of my heroes, and you could put her and Vicki Lawrence in any situation, and Tim Conway could trip over a chair when he wasn't supposed to, and they would break down. You can watch a show like Cheers, when Kirstie Alley would almost slip out of character, or like Betty White and the Golden Girls, and they would almost slip out of character, but they would just, and you know, and you're, as a fan watching, you're going, get it, I know you got it, hold it together, and they do, and it's one of the most satisfying feelings. So that I got this, I guess I get it from Carol Burnett and Betty White and Vicki Lawrence.
Do you ever, in this ride of a career that you're having, that you're just is going up and up, do you ever hear that algebra teacher voice? And what do you do if you do?
I don't hear her anymore. And honestly, I hope she's doing good. I really do hope the best for her. I don't hear her voice anymore because your own little tiny critical voice is the meanest, nastiest little biscuit stealer there is. And it's hard to fight. But I just talk to it because it's talking to me. When I go, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go play at the Opry real quick, and you can belittle me in a little while. It's hard to learn, still hard to learn.
Well, I have just enjoyed being with you. You are so uplifting, inspiring, and I probably read this, and I'm probably stealing it a little bit, but I mean this. Your music reminds us all here in Nashville that have been here a long time why we loved country music in the first place.
I'm glad, thank you.
Keep doing it, girl. Honest, authentic, just keep climbing right on up.
I gotta climb. I'm short, I gotta climb.
We love you. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye.
Ashley McBryde, everybody. Thank you.
Raymond's in his Sunday best. He's usually up to his chest in oil and grease. There's a Martin's walking in with that mean little freckle-faced kid who broke a window last week. Sweet Miss Betty liked to sing off key in the pew behind me. It's what I love about Sunday. I sing along as the choir sways every verse of Amazing Grace. Then we shake the preacher's hand, go home and do your blue jeans, have some chicken and some baked beans, pick a backyard football team. Not too much of anything. It's what I love about Sunday. Stroll to the end of the drive, pick up the Sunday Times, grab a coffee cup. Looks like Sally and Ron finally tied the knot. Well, it's about time. There's 35 cents off a ground round, baby, cut that coupon out. That's what I love about Sunday. You curled up next to me, the smell of jasmine wakes us up. Take a walk down the back road, tackle box and a cane pole. I carve our names in that white oak. I still a kiss as the sun fades. It's what I love about Sunday.
A powerful voice getting us started tonight. That is Craig Morgan, singing from his gut like he always does. And coming up will be the amazing Isaacs, and a little later, a double dose of Carly Pearce. Hello, friends. Bobby Bones here. Welcome to another Opry Live. An exciting night tonight, not just because of, well, the great show, but because Circle is now available on Peacock. Peacock is the streaming platform for NBC Universal, so when you park yourself on Peacock to see all your favorite NBC and Universal shows, you can now catch the Opry and a bunch of other great Circle programs as well. So now with Peacock, Roku Channel, Samsung TV Plus, Vizio Free Watch, and the Zumo app, you can pretty much find Circle everywhere. Okay, pre-pandemic, this guy on stage was pretty much everywhere as well. He regularly appears on military bases, festivals, here at the Opry, and of course on his Circle Network show. I mean, he never stops moving. I promise you, when life gets back to normal, he's gonna take off like a jet engine. But we don't need to wait for that because he's here right now. Once again, Craig Morgan, everybody.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Grand Ole Opry. Boy, it is good to be here and see Carly. She is a pretty one, isn't she? She's a lot better to look at than that Mark Wheels fella. Yeah. We're excited to be here tonight. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how exciting it is to be playing in front of an audience. We thank God the Grand Ole Opry didn't shut down and we got to play and do these live streams, but there was no audience. So it's really nice to sit out there and look at those masks. And we're just going to assume that you're smiling behind them. We're glad you're here. This is a song some of you may know, talking about a little club I started a long time ago. How many of you people are members of my Redneck Yacht Club? made my buddies out on the lake. We're headed out to a special place we love, yeah, but just a few folks know. There's no signing up, no monthly dues. Take your Johnson, your Mercury, or your Evan Root and fire it up. Meet us out and party cold. Come on in, the water's fine. Just idle on over and toss the line. Fast trackers, bay liners, and a party barge strung together like a float trailer park. Anchored out and get loud all summer long. Side to side, there's 5 houseboat front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat, that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club. Bermuda's flip-flops and a tank top tan. He bopped his first top at 10 a.m. That's Bob. Yeah, he's a president. We're checking out the girls on the upper deck, rubbing in the 15 SPF. It's hot. Everybody's jumping in. Later on, the sun goes down. We'll pull out a jar and that old guitar and pass them around. Fast trackers, bay liners, and a party barge strung together like a floating trailer park. Anchored out and get loud all summer long. Side to side, there's 5 houseboat front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat, that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club. When the party's over and we're all alone, we'll be making waves in a no-wake zone. Fast trackers, bay liners, and a party barge strung together like a floating trailer park. Anchored out and getting loud all summer long. Side to side, there's 5 houseboat front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat, that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club. The Redneck Yacht Club.
Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. Go to geico.com today.
Redneck Yacht Club with Craig Morgan, y'all, making us all want to get outside and get on the water. It was a beautiful day here in Nashville today. It feels like it's starting to warm up again. I'm so ready, and that's getting me in the spirit. Hey, y'all, I'm Natalie Stovall. So happy to be on the live stream once again here at Opry Live. While TV and radio are at commercial breaks, we get to hang out and chat. And you know what? There's one younger woman in the crowd that has on, she's got on one of the face shields, you know, the clear plastic ones that cover your whole face instead of just the mask part. And it was so fun. I didn't realize how long it's been since I've watched someone sing every single lyric to a song. She was so into Redneck Yacht Club, and she just had so much joy, and it was wonderful. So it is so good to be back here at Opry Live. And you know what? Y'all can be here at the Grand Ole Opry for performances not only on Saturday nights, but also on Friday nights. And we've added Tuesday nights. So exciting. So go to Opry.com. Get yourself some tickets if you're going to be in the Nashville area. We've got 1,100 people in here. People are wearing their masks. They're staying far enough apart from one another. It's so awesome. And you've got more chances than just the Saturday night option. You got Tuesdays and Fridays. We've got a lot of fun artists coming up, like Ronnie Millsap, Daly and Vincent, Steve Earle, Stephen Curtis Chapman, and Runaway June. My band will be coming up in a couple weeks. Very excited about that. Also, you can always take a tour at the Ryman as well. The Ryman Auditorium, you go to Ryman.com, you can get tickets. I guarantee you, you will love that tour just as much as you will love a tour here at the Grand Ole Opry House. They're both just chock full of history. They're both incredible tours, and they partner well with one another for obvious reasons. Now, another thing that's really fun is that Circle is now available on Peacock. So for those of you that already have Peacock as a streaming service, you can get Circle and see shows like The Southern Weekend, which I do take you behind the scenes at both the Ryman and the Grand Ole Opry House on the Southern Weekend and some of the upcoming seasons. But Peacock is NBC Universal's new streaming service. It has all of their programming available on demand, and then you can stream Circle Network. So that's pretty exciting. Well, right now, I'm going to have to head it backstage to Mr. Bobby Bones, you guys, right now.
Hey friends, welcome back to Opry Live. I am Bobby Bones. Okay, here's a question. What comes to mind when you think about bluegrass? A deep country sound with tight harmonies, right? It's hard to improve on that. But what if you added tight family harmonies with a gospel message? Now that would be something special, and that's our next group. Okay, Marty Stewart said about them this: when you finally experience them in person, it's life-changing. You've got your life before hearing them, and then your life after hearing them. And now I want you to hear them. That moment is here for you. Here are the Isaacs.
There's a lot of people talking about people, looking down on everybody, acting like they're sitting on a steeple, keeping all their own faults locked up in a big vault. Raise your hand if you ain't ever done nothing wrong. That's what I thought. Rocks are heavy and they hurt people you love. It's so easy reaching down and picking them up, but I ain't gonna throw no stones at nobody. Don't wanna get hit by a ricochet. Ain't got no rocks in my pockets anyway. Well, he just sat there drawing on the ground beside her. She was caught red-handed, and man, they all couldn't wait to stone her. Well, I'm just paraphrasing, but Jesus said, now wait a minute. Step right up and be the first to throw if you ain't done some sinning. One by one, well, they all dropped their stones, and when
everybody. Well, the Isaacs are certainly thrilled to be here with you all tonight. We love the opportunity to be at the Grand Ole Opry, and I hope that you're having a good time tonight, because I know we are. And yeah, for those of you that are watching on Circle TV, hi out there, a lot of friends out there in the virtual world tuning in tonight, and we're grateful for that as well. And we just are so thrilled to be here, and it's just, there's something special. People ask us, what's it like to be on the Grand Ole Opry? And I can never find the words to explain what an honor it is, and so thank you for getting to be here tonight with a special night for the Isaacs to be here. We wrote that song, believe it or not, back in 2016 when the last election happened, and you know, it's still a good one to sing today. I think there's a lot of mudslinging and rock throwing going on, so maybe we should just all be nice and be friends. I don't know. We'd like to sing you a song. You know, when lockdown happened this year, the Isaacs, of course, like everybody else, stayed home. And all our dates got canceled. And it was a really, I would say, physically restful, but mentally stressful for us and others like us out there. But we decided that since Ben owns a studio, we would make good use of our time home. And we went in and recorded an album called Songs for the Times. And we asked friends to submit songs that they thought would be good for this project. And we even wrote a few. And this is one of the ones that we wrote called The Wilderness for Songs for the Times.
You ever knew, but God
think it has felt kind of like a wilderness this past year, hasn't it? But the promised land is just in sight. Keep holding on, keep moving on. Don't give up, don't quit. We're almost there, we're almost there. And I'm glad I can say that God is still good, and he loves each one of you, and he loves us all. That's great. We're a family. This is our mom, Miss Lily, and we are her grown babies. Ben's the oldest, Becky's the baby, and I'm the middle child, Sonia, mom's favorite. We are the Isaacs. Nice to meet you. That's not true. And we thank this band for playing with us tonight. They did a beautiful job, but we're going to fire them for this next song. We're going to do an a cappella. We love to sing a cappella. And the Ryman, of course, is the Mother Church. And so the Grand Ole Opry is a wonderful place to do songs like this one. When peace like river attendeth my way, or when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. My sin, this is a good Easter verse. My sin, oh, the bliss of this glorious thought. My sin, not just in part, but the whole. It is nailed to his cross, and I'll bear it no more. Oh, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, oh, my soul. For it is well. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. It is
Tonight's Opry performance is in association with Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Woo, y'all. Oh my goodness. That was stunning. And I don't know if you could tell, I know they were panning a little bit, but standing ovation for the Isaacs right now. That was the most gorgeous rendition of It Is Well With My Soul. My word. Whew, I needed that. I don't know about y'all, but I still have goosebumps all over me. My goodness. All right. Well, before we go any further, and before I forget to give a big shout out to our friends and partners at Geico, they have a little word for you guys. Now, when it comes to saving money on car insurance, Geico, just like the Isaacs, hits all the right notes. You could save hundreds on your car insurance and enjoy benefits like top-notch 24/7 service, fast, fair claim handling, coverage of your RV, motorcycle, boat, and more, and homeowners and renters insurance through Geico Insurance Agency. Go visit geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO or visit your local Geico office for a free rate quote today. Woohoo! We like that. Now, we're about to do the Circle release of the week right now, and you guys, we are going to be featuring Fillmore's new single. This one's called Nothing's Better. Now, Fillmore is one of those guys that he just keeps knocking it out of the park on all of the streaming platforms. People keep connecting to his music, and just recently he released his debut album. It's called State I'm In. This past September is when he released it. He co-wrote all the songs on the album, and he released 18 songs on that album, which is amazing. That's kind of something that you don't hear a lot about anymore. But this single, Nothing's Better, off the album, it's about that kind of move on moment after a relationship that you kind of realize maybe wasn't the best or healthiest relationship for you, but it's not the wallow in it kind of sad, traumatic version of that. It's the feel-good version of that. It's kind of the getting back up on the horse and doing it again. So, you guys, stream Fillmore's Nothing's Better on any of your streaming platforms, anywhere that you listen to music or however you download it, however you like to listen to music. Go find Fillmore's Nothing Better. It's so good. You guys are going to love it. And I'm still a little rocked after that Isaacs performance. That was so amazing. But you know what? It's already time to get to more music. But right now we're going backstage to Bobby Bones.
Welcome back to Opry Live. I am Bobby Bones. You know, last week I mentioned Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's Rod and Reel Trade-In event. It's pretty simple. You bring in your old rod and reel to any Bass Pro Shop, you get a discount on a new rod and reel, which is pretty cool, right? But here's what makes it really special. Bass Pro Shops will donate your used fishing equipment to local nonprofit organizations. In the past 5 years, they've donated more than 400,000 outdoor products to youth-focused nonprofits. So by bringing in your used stuff, you're not only helping yourself, but you're also helping your community. So come on, grab your old gear and help yourself and your community get outdoors. All right, last summer, this next artist earned her second #1 with a song called I Hope You're Happy Now. And if you ask me, that song was the first thunderclap in the coming storm of a big career ahead. Proof positive that if you stay true to yourself and write with fearless honesty, great things are bound to follow. So here is one of the great things about country music today, Carly Pearce.
How we doing, Grand Ole Opry? Don't know me, I'm just the one he says went crazy on him. That's just what he does. But once upon a time I was the next girl. I've been where you're at. You overlook a lot when he looks like that. To charm your mama with that smile and hide the red flags for a little while. I bet you probably met him at a bar. Let him walk to your car. I bet he said this hard. Yeah, I remember that part. He knows how to say all the right things. Knows how to get you out of that dress. Knows how to make you think you're the best thing. But I know what happens next, girl. Hey, next girl, you think that you know better. Maybe the last girl was just a little bitter and jaded. Yeah, there ain't no doubt. But if he ever talks about the ex-girl, she tried like hell and it was too late to save herself. So now she's just trying to help the next girl. And I bet you probably met him at a bar. Let him walk into your car. I bet he said he never falls this hard. Yeah, I remember that part. He knows how to say all the right things. Knows how to get you out of that dress. knows how to make you think you're the best thing, but I know what happens next. You're gonna think it's all your fault. It's just a switch that it turns off. It'll make you think it's love, but I promise you it's not. Oh no, it's not. And knowing I bet you probably met him at a bar, let him walk into your car. I bet he said he never falls this hard. Yeah, I remember that part. He knows how to say all the right things, knows how to get you out of that dress, knows how to make you think you're the best thing, but I know what happens next, girl. How we doing, Grand Ole Opry? I'm really not sure whose choice it was for me to follow the Isaacs. I'm not real happy about it. I am so happy to be here. Thank you guys for spending your Saturday night with us on the greatest stage in the world and the greatest show in the world. I love this place so much and recently released a record. And if you followed my journey, you know that the last 18 months has been a little hard on my personal life and hard on my heart. And I wrote this song just about my year of 29. And sometimes life throws curves at us, and maybe things don't turn out like you thought, and I wanted to share my story with you. So this is 29. 29, that's when you're supposed to find yourself. Start drinking whiskey from a higher shelf and stop calling your mom for help. 29, you start paying mortgage instead of rent. Should be picking out a picket fence instead of wondering where it went and wondering why. But for me, 29 is the year that I got married and divorced. I held on for dear life, but I still fell off the horse. From a miss to a missus, then the other way around. The year I was gonna live it up, now I'm never gonna live it down. 29. By now I thought I'd have it figured out, but I've never felt as lost as I do now. And everybody says you're only 29, but I feel like I'm running out of time. If youth is wasted on the young, if I wasted mine. 'Cause for me, 29 is the year that I got married and divorced. I held on for dear life, but I still fell off the horse. From a miss to a missus, then the other way around. The year I was gonna live it up, now I'm never gonna live it down. Y'all give it up for the Opry Band. It seems like everybody else is hanging on to it, but I swear to God I barely made my way through it. Oh, 29 is the year that I got married and divorced. And yeah, I held on for dear life, but I still fell off the horse. From a miss to a missus, then the other
just call it what it was. Now I'm never gonna live it down.
Thank you.
Whew, just about the most honest and vulnerable song I've heard in a long time, Miss Carly Pearce. I am still obsessively listening to that entire EP. If you haven't heard it yet, check it out. It's unbelievable. Every song is just as amazing as 29, and that right there is one of my favorite songs that she's ever written and released. It's just the best. We love it every single time that Carly Pearce is on the Opry. This is her 78th appearance, so she's here a lot, and we're very thankful for that. Y'all, I'm Natalie Stovall hanging out with you while TV and radio, which I'm sure you can hear in the background, are at their commercial breaks at the moment, but I love getting to hang out with all the live streamers all around the world. I've been seeing those comments roll in from all over the U.S. and all around the world. No matter what time it is, there's a lot of people tuning in tonight, so thank you for always joining us. And you know, we want to give a big thank you to Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's founder, Mr. Johnny Morris, for helping us bring you guys this music week after week after week. The circle has remained unbroken, even in the midst of a global pandemic. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? And you know, there's a little bit more that I want to mention about Bass Pro Shops. Now, I know that Bobby was talking about this earlier, but it's the Rod and Reel trade-in. They have this annual rod and reel trade-in program. So you just bring in your old rod and reel, trade it in, you get a discount on a new rod and reel. Pretty sweet deal, right? But the best part is all of your used fishing gear will be donated to local non-profits in your area. So this is what's so cool. In the last 5 years, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's have donated more than 400,000 products. So, and those products have gone to youth-focused nonprofits. So when you donate your old rod and reel, you're not only helping yourself get those sweet deals and discounts, but you're helping local communities. There's, once again, Bass Pro Shops doing what they do, helping out Mother Nature, helping out the local communities, and encouraging us all to get outdoors a little more. Hey, this is a really fun thing. The Circle Country Countdown sneak peek. So there's a new show coming out on Circle called the Circle Country Countdown, and it's like your favorite top 10 lists. It's all about top 10 lists. So the sneak peek is going to be happening this Monday night, and they're going to show a sneak peek of the episodes of a top 10 list of country music power couples. Ooh, so see if you can guess who all is on that top 10 list. That's going to be such a fun show. All right, well, we got more Grand Ole Opry coming right now with Miss Carly Pearce.
Y'all made me a CMA award winner with this song, so I love you so much for that. This is I Hope You're Happy Now.
It's all on me, it's my mistake. I said I don't love you a little too late, but I guess there ain't ever a right time, and I don't know why it's called a goodbye. So go run my name into the ground till everyone you know just how I slam the door not forever, but I promise you it's for the better. I hope you find what you were looking for. I hope your heart ain't hurting anymore, and you get moving on. I'll figure it out, and you don't leave me somehow, 'cause I
I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'm gonna debut a brand new song on the Grand Ole Opry. So I don't think you can sing country music, especially as a female, and grow up in the state of Kentucky and not love Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn fans? So I wrote this song as a letter to Loretta. I've never met her, but we have a lot in common. And I think over the last year and a half, I've understood her songs and the way that she told her truth a lot more than I ever thought I would. So Loretta, hopefully I can ask you all this in person someday, but for now, I'll sing it to you. Dear Miss Loretta, I ain't ever met you, but I'm lonely tonight, and I just bet you might have some wisdom to pull off that shelf. Your songs were all fun till I lived them myself. I ain't a coal miner's daughter, but my grandmother was. Must be whiskey in the water, must be bourbon in the blood. I'm a long way from Kentucky, but the hurting's the same. Now I know why you sing that way. What ended up tough started out broken. What ended up lost started out hoping. A lifetime of pain was 3 minutes long, and you weren't ashamed when the world sang along. I ain't a coal miner's daughter, but my grandmother was. Must be whiskey in the water, must be bourbon in the blood. I'm a long way from Kentucky, but the hurting's the same. And now I know why you sing that way. Dear Miss Loretta, we both grew up too fast, and I wish you could tell me how you made it last. I ain't a coal miner's daughter, but I've sung it all my life. I ain't been a widow, but I've been an ex-wife. And I hear your truth, and I feel your pain. Now I know why you sing that way. Yeah, I know why you sing that way. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Tonight's Opry performance is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Let's get back to nature.
Oh my goodness, Carly Pearce, and we get her with us right now. Look at this. You just got a standing ovation for a brand new song.
That was crazy.
You didn't sound nervous at all.
I
Were
was
you nervous?
definitely nervous. You know how it is. It's like singing something on such a prestigious stage for the first time. But
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
I
still,
get
like,
more
nervous.
nervous when I'm not on the Grand Ole Opry stage singing a song for the first time in front of people.
I know. It was a lot, but
That was flawless.
Thank you. Thank
as flawless as she looks, right? Look at this dress and look at that eye makeup. I mean,
I didn't do it.
I didn't do mine either. When did you write that song?
You know, I wrote it over the summer, and I thought it was kind of just for myself.
Yeah.
And then just with the response to 29, it just felt like it was the right time to let it out. So I love it.
Well, thank you for sharing it with us. I was just bragging on you and telling everybody I'm still obsessively listening to the 29 EP, and then you're already giving us new music. I don't even know what to do.
I'm hoping the summer will be a continuation of 29, so
I am hoping for that too. Ooh, maybe we just got a little nugget there. That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking time and joining us. I love you too. Hey, let's say happy birthday to happy birthday, Lindsay. Happy birthday, Lindsay. We love you so much. We love you. All right. Mwah.
Love you.
Go catch a breath. Man, oh my gosh, we just got to talk to Carly Pearce. No big deal. Oh my gosh, this is such an amazing Opry night. And you guys, as always, it's not gonna be over just because the show ends. We're gonna have another Geico Green Room for you right after the show tonight. So as soon as the show is done, you know the drill, live streamers. Go to GeicoGreenroom.com and you're gonna get to hang out with the always delightful Maddie and Tay. So go to GeicoGreenroom.com, check out Maddie and Tay, and then also, you know what's coming. Check out that Gibson J45 acoustic vintage sunburst guitar contest that's going on. I mean, y'all, I've always wanted a J45. These are some of the best guitars ever made. I am so excited that one of you can win this guitar. So when you're on GeicoGreenroom.com, scroll down to the banner that says Win a Gibson, and then click on Enter to Win, and you could have one of these beautiful vintage sunburst J45 acoustic guitars. I can't believe it. I've already got to say goodnight. Thank you guys for joining us. As always, it's been a great Opry Live. Backstage to Bobby Bones.
Wow, that was a fast hour. Thanks to Craig, Carly, and the Isaacs for giving us their all tonight. But if you still want more, go to GeicoGreenroom.com after the show, and you will see a Maddie and Tay interview that you will love. Okay, one last time, here is Craig Morgan. Good night, everybody.
He had plastic bags wrapped around his shoes. He was covered with the evening news. Had a pair of old wool socks on his hands. Bang sign was flashing 5 below. It was freezing rain and spitting snow. He was curled up behind some garbage cans. I was afraid that he was dead. I gave him a gentle shake. But when he opened up his eyes, I said, "Oh man, are you okay?" And he said, "I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees. Drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you'd just let me alone, 'cause I was almost home." That his head eyes just coming round the barn, about the time he grabbed my arm, when I heard Mama holler, "Son, hurry up." I was close enough for my old nose to smell fresh cobbler on the stove. I saw Daddy loading up the truck. Cane poles on the tailgate, bobbers blowing in the wind. Since July of '85, that's as close as I've been. Yeah, just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees. Drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking fishing. I just climbed out of a cottonwood tree. I was running from some honeybees, drip drying in the summer breeze. After jumping into Calico Creek, I was walking down an old dirt road, past a field of hay that had just been mowed. Man, I wish you'd just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Man, I wish you'd just left me alone, 'cause I was almost home. Thank you very much. Welcome back. This next song I'm doing is a song that's difficult for me to sing. I have to tell you up front, I wrote this song. I say God wrote this song. But I always do it because I always hope that there's someone that wants to hear it or needs to hear it. So if you're here tonight, know that God's working with you as much as he is me. I'm very fortunate on this album, when I recorded this song, to have Miss Sonia Isaacs join me on this record. So I'm going to ask her to come back out tonight and sing this song with me. It's called The Father, My Son, and the Holy Ghost. The lights are shining bright as always downtown on the road. I have friends that come from out of town asking me to go. They say there's so much going on, why don't you come along and show us around? I tell them Karen's not feeling well, so I probably shouldn't go out. Besides, I've got a fixed list of things I need to do around the house. Then I hang up the phone, turn the radio back on, and sit back down. I know my boy ain't here, but he ain't gone. In the mornings I wake up and hear a kiss head to the kitchen. Oh, God will wake me up and try to rouse up some ambition. Go outside, sit by myself, but I ain't alone. I've got the Father, my Son, and the Holy Ghost. I've been beat up, I've been pushed and shoved, but never ever really locked down. Between Mom and Dad, Uncle Sam and friends, I somehow always pulled out. But the pain of this was more than I'd ever felt before. Yeah, I was broke. I cried and cried and cried until I passed out on the floor. Then I prayed and prayed and prayed till I thought I couldn't pray anymore. Then minute by minute, day by day, my God, he gave me hope. I know my boy ain't here, but he ain't gone. And in the morning I wake up, give her a kiss, head to the kitchen. Pour a cup, wake me up and try to rouse up some ambition. Go outside, sit by myself, but I ain't alone. I've take the hill till I go home. And in the mornings I wake up, give her a kiss, head to the kitchen. Oh, and God will wake me up and try to rouse up some ambition. Go outside, sit by myself, but I ain't alone. I've got the Father, my Son, the Holy Ghost. One day I'll wake up and I'll be home with the Father, my Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Okay, so if we had to divvy up chores,
who would cook a souffle?
you. Probably me, and the only reason I would say it is because I would have Jonah help.
You know what, I will say I did watch the Selena and Chef where she cooked a souffle, and after watching her, maybe.
You probably could do it.
But it wouldn't be good.
But I'm at an advantage because I have Jonah, who's basically a chef.
Exactly, so Maddie
maybe
all the
me,
way.
yeah. Changing a tire, I actually,
Would be you.
Yeah, I do know how to change a tire. That was a tough lesson I learned when I was like 16. I had this giant Toyota Tundra, and I had a flat tire on vacation with my family, and my dad was like, just because you're a girl,
She don't
doesn't
need no
mean,
man.
Yeah, and he's like, you're gonna have to learn how to change a tire. And I was like, Dad, these tires weigh like half my weight. And he's like, too bad.
You did CrossFit too, though, didn't you? Like lift tires and CrossFit.
Yeah, that was a weird time in my life. We are not CrossFitting anymore. But yeah, I do know how to change a tire. My dad taught me how to do that. Anything involving a power
Anything
tool?
involving a power tool.
Okay,
would be
me,
you.
but you made me that custom sign.
I didn't use no power tool. I used paint.
Oh, well, I thought you used a sander or something.
Nope.
Oh, you just, okay. Well, I guess me then.
And
yeah.
a stencil.
I did build a chicken coop with my husband last year,
Exactly.
so
Oh, yeah.
maybe me. I don't know.
I bet you're wondering right now, what can Tay do?
She can
And
do
let
a
me
lot
tell
of
you,
things. Wake surf.
I can get on a board, on a wake surfboard.
You can drive a boat.
I'm a cat whisperer.
Yep. And
I'm a great listener.
Taking care of an indoor plant. I feel like neither of us. I had a beautiful orchid that I actually got here at the Opry as a gift. Died so fast.
I got poinsettias on my front porch for my Christmas decor, and a week dead.
Oh.
You don't even have to water those. Like,
I know.
But once a week and they die.
I get all fake plants because so I'm gonna go neither of us.
Oh yeah, neither.
Yeah. We basically have most of the third album done. It happened really quickly.
It did.
It was very whirlwindish because I don't even know if that's a word, whirlwindish.
We're gonna make it.
But yeah,
Add it to
I
the
just made
dictionary.
it up. But yeah, so it took us 5 years in between the first album and the second album just due to things that were out of our control. And the third album took about 9 months to make because of like the blessing of time that we did have in 2020. There was a lot of things that were really hard, but that was one thing that we were really grateful for. We had the time to dig in, and we've just recorded 12 songs, and we're gonna record more, so we're just so excited.
Never in our life have we gotten to write as much as we have gotten to write this far in 2020 and in 2021. It's just been like so much creativity that's really made us happy, and the
Yeah.
fact that we've gotten to make an entire record from what's been going on in the past years has us really excited, and hopefully our fans are excited for the new music too.
I don't think we've written this much
No.
since like the early
Since we
days.
moved to Nashville
Like
when we were
since we were
17.
yeah,
Yeah.
when we met when we were like 15, 16 till about 18.
Yep.
There was like hundreds of songs written, and then we got to
Mhm.
do that again, which was fun. The song selection's not fun.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's a bit hard to condense music, especially when we have a hand in writing mostly all of our songs. This far, it's been 100% of the songs we've written because we just love to write, and that's initially what we started doing this for, was writing. And so to pick the songs when they feel like your own little children is very hard. But you know, we've just had a lot of fun creating this record. There's not really one set theme. It's just kind of what all has been going on in our lives over the past couple years, and it's fun. It's a hodgepodge. Whirlwindish.
Whirlwindish and hodgepodge. We have our own language.
We get each other.
Ah, get out of my head. See, we've been hanging out too much. Being newlyweds, Tay and Josh, y'all were just like
truly
thrown to the
newlyweds.
wolves the first year because they were quarantined.
Yes.
But Jonah and I have been together, it'll be 11 years. I've known him as long as I've known Tay.
Right.
And so, it was nice we hadn't spent that much time together, but we always say there's days when you're like, oh, I chose you, and then there's days where you're like, I chose you, and it's like,
regardless, you chose them, but you're like,
exactly. There, but it's been so fun.
It has been so fun. Being married, it's like you're waking up to almost a reflection of you every single day, and you see yourself in them. And
if you're doing it right, I feel like.
Yeah, and you can truly just like grow together and. What are your tics and what are your flaws, and like work through them together. I've had a lot of fun just growing with my hubby.
And it's been nice having, being in this phase together because I think sometimes, especially like social media makes marriage be like this glamorous, perfect thing, and you get this pretty ring and it's all perfect. And T and I are like, no, there's days when it's not easy and you got to fight for it and all that. And I just feel so blessed and lucky that I have a husband that does that for me. And I think it's just like I married my best friend, my favorite person to hang out with. Close second, very close second. But,
take it.
But yeah, it's been really fun. And the best moments I feel like are when all four of us get together and we have
love hanging
dinner,
out together.
or they'll come spend the night and we'll just have drinks and hang and play games. And yeah, it's just such a fun foundation that I feel like we've set in our marriages and then our relationship together, and then kind of like when we get to bring it all together.
We found a nice balance of like work, because we are, professional partners, but we're also best friends, and then our husbands, like bringing them into the work, but also keeping it separate. It's nice, the balance.
Yeah.
Being married has completely changed the way that I write songs.
Same.
Personally, because my husband inspires me. I don't think I've ever been more inspired than I am with Josh. I think you can attest to that.
100%.
Like, it's just like a new me. But I'm so inspired, and I'm so inspired by love songs. I'm like really mushy, and normally that is not me. You're the mushy
I'm the mushy one.
Yeah.
She is not, and now it's like switched.
Yeah.
I'm like a little more like, I always have the heartbreak songs, which is so weird. I don't know. I just, sometimes I love reading books and all that kind of stuff, and so sometimes I'm like really into a story and I'm like, oh, booyah, and I get all these different song titles, and Jonah's like, who hurt you? And I'm like, it's just this book I'm reading. Okay, I'll say for me personally, the thing I'm most proud of, we do have a CMA award, which is like absolutely amazing and super cool. An NSAI award, which is one that I love, but this one's not really an award. So Die From a Broken Heart was our little song that we called it that, and that song for me just kind of represents us not giving up and persevering even when we felt like the underdogs and we felt like this wasn't going to work. We've just had so much adversity the past couple of years, and we just did not stop and we did not give up. And so I feel like the blessing and the reward, like God was like, hey, I'm gonna give you something real cool. You just gotta work on that character and build it up. And then, boom, #1 giant hit song.
I totally agree. That was that was the hardest part of our career, but ended up being the most like precious and rewarding. And
oh yeah, there were so many times Tay and I we'd be praying or just having a day and we're like, God, what are you doing? Like it just felt like everything was falling apart in our career and like nothing was budging. And that was like a good 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was after Growing a Country Song and everything. And we were just like, were we supposed to, like, what are we doing? And then God was like, and then I was like,
it all makes sense.
Sneaky Jesus, man. He's sneaky.
JC.
JC, baby.
Ooh.
We had an extra 15 minutes in our day. What would we do?
Like at the end of the day? So like a bath or like maybe some reading? Maybe?
Gosh, we are so lame.
I know.
I think I would read and simultaneously, like, you know, read a chapter, put the book down, and then play with my chickens in my backyard.
That's a nice one.
Extra 15 minutes with my chickens.
Yeah, I may journal a little more. Maybe add a sentence or two.
My real answer, sit by the fire with a cocktail with my husband.
Oh,
I do that without the 15 minutes.
You get one
anyway.
extra cocktail.
Oh,